Welcome everybody back to DragonR6505's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to root, install Clockwork Mod Recovery, and an overclockable kernel for the ZTE All N800. This is a phone with a Snapdragon MSM8930 1.2 gigahertz dual-core CPU with an Adreno 305 GPU. It's not a bad phone. I got it on Black Friday when they had their sale for $20. It is no longer on sale for $20, but you can find them online for cheaper than their regular asking price at the markets, which are, I believe, about between $80 to $100 depending on where you go. Now I'm going to show you that my phone is completely bone stock. First I'm going to show you the recovery. The recovery is very easy to get to. Simply hold down volume down and the power button until you feel the phone vibrate, and then let go of the power button but continue to hold down the volume down, and you will boot into stock Android recovery. I'm going to reboot the system here and show you that I have not rooted the phone yet. I have not done anything to the phone except for allow it to install its typical Virgin Mobile essential drivers or essential applications. I have muted my phone so that the annoying Virgin Mobile tone doesn't go off because I hate that thing. Okay, gonna unlock the phone here. Show you the only applications that I currently have installed. Takes a minute for it to load. Give it a second. You see I have Android Tuner. I'm going to load this application up just to show you. Cancel the firmware update. Okay. I'll show you here the CPU, 1.2 gigahertz. It is in fact dual core. The second core is currently, click yes, is currently unavailable, and the first core you can't do anything with it right now because I'm not rooted. But you'll be able to change this once the phone is in fact rooted. The other application I have installed here is AnTutu Benchmark, which I will show you in a second, as well as Quadrant Standard. I'm going to show you that the phone is bone stock, running Android 4.1.2, the stock kernel version, stock software version. Now, it's actually trying to update the firmware right now, which will update the software version and the kernel version. It's not really that necessary. We're going to be changing the kernel anyway. So there's that. And now I'm going to run an AnTutu and a Quadrant benchmark for you. These are these scores, like I said, are coming from a bone stock device. I have not actually. Let me try and get a better picture here for you. I have not run these benchmarks yet, so these benchmarks will be from a complete stock device, and it's going to take a minute or two to go through. Testing the CPU interjitter. For 1.2 gigahertz processor in this phone, again, for getting it for $20, it's really not a bad buy. And if you didn't get it on Black Friday, you're really missing out. While this is running, I want to first give a shout out to RB Hero Max and Cool Dude Zach on the Android forums. There will be a link below in the description so that you can go to that forum page and check out all the other topics there. Also, please be sure to give them a thank you and thumbs up. Let them know that you appreciate the work that they've done. Myself and Zeruth, as well as Junkie2100, also helped us with testing the kernel and all of their modifications, including the Clockwork mod that they developed and ported over themselves. Testing the RAM speed. Multitasking, even though this phone really doesn't have multitasking capabilities, I'm supposing that's just the ability to actually run multiple applications at once. And there's the first 2D test. As you can see, it's pretty fluid. May not look like much on the camera I'm using. This is a Samsung Galaxy S3 camera that I'm currently recording the phone portion of this for. And here comes the 3D test. Not sure if you can see the FPS there. It's at about 23 right now. OpenGL ES 2.0 is the maximum OpenGL version of applications that this phone will actually run. So, and I'll just skip this one. Just go to the details. See the score, 13,901. Not bad. 907 on the 2D graphics, 4824 on the 3D graphics. Again, not bad. So there's the Quadrant score for you. I'm going to close the recent apps and open up Quadrant Standard and allow this to run a test as well. Full benchmark. Now the Overclock kernel that I'm going to be showing you how to install on this currently has an overclock maximum overclock value of 1.94 gigahertz, and of course with this being a dual core phone, once the root is installed you can change the values. They've included a couple more CPU governors. They are AssWax, Badass, Smartass V2, and I believe there's one more, and it slipped my mind exactly what it is. I apologize. There's the rotating planets test. And then the very hefty GPU 3D DNA test. And I'm going to send this out and find out what kind of score we got. 4836. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So, on to the portion that you came here for precisely. We are going to first install Clockwork Mod Recovery, as well as I have the drivers and everything for you here on the desktop. In the description will be two links, one to a force folder and one to a direct download folder that, or a direct download file that will download the ZTE all N800 root recovery and kernel .rar file. Inside this will be a written tutorial, which I have written up myself. There you are, the tutorial for you. I'll also show you how to return the phone back to stock if you wish to, for whatever reason you may have to. Inside the root recovery and kernel folder, there's going to be the ADB files for you. PDANet, which we'll be using to install the actual ADB files, as well as the fast boot driver. The stock recovery, as well as the Clockwork Mod Recovery images. The Clockwork Mod Recovery we will be using to boot into a temporary Clockwork Mod Recovery, which you can then flash the Clockwork Mod .zip to permanently install Clockwork Mod Recovery. You don't have to install the permanent Clockwork Mod Recovery, but it's handy in case for whatever reason something breaks with you messing around with files, and you can then make yourself a backup. I will assure you that this method is working, but always, 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 first thing you do before you make any modifications, make a Clockwork Mod backup. Also, there is the OC-kernel.zip as well as the superuser.zip. This will be the overclockable kernel, like I said, and this will install the superuser binaries as well as the superuser APK. And an update.zip, which you can use from the stock recovery. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to get it to work in the Clockwork Mod Recovery, but this update.zip you can put on your SD card so that you can flash back to complete bone stock recovery out of the box factory condition, as you see the device here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go and, well, first off, we're going to install the PDANet and click yes, because I'm using Windows 7, so the UAC popped up. This will install PDANet, which is typically for you to allow you for tethering. Ooh, excuse me. Your phone to your computer to use your internet. Just click next all through all this, and it's going to ask about Android USB drivers. I still have my ZTE all drivers in, but I don't have the ADB drivers installed yet. This will install just the ADB drivers. Just let me know that there's another Android USB driver. You're going to select Other here and click OK. If you haven't installed the drivers yet and you haven't plugged up your device to your computer, which you more than likely have by now, it will actually prompt you to install an unsigned driver. Just click OK. It's perfectly safe. And if you get this to enable USB debugging, we'll be doing that here in a second. We'll just skip this for now. Have not installed PDANet on your phone. It's fine, you don't really need it. You don't have to actually have PDANet running for this. In some cases it can actually mess with fast boot, but for me and my purposes, I've included this because it has not messed up with anything. On your phone here, you're going to go into the system settings and go to developer options. You're going to enable developer options, click OK, and you're going to enable USB debugging and click OK. Now we're going to go out of here and I'm going to plug in my USB cord to the side of the phone. There we are. And the phone will connect. And there we go. At this point, it should be prompting you to install the actual ADB drivers. I already have them installed, so I don't really need to worry about that. Now what you want to do is you want to push the super user, OC kernel, and Clockwork mod files to your device. And I already have them on my SD card, but I'm going to throw them on there again anyway, for the purposes of the video. Alright, there we go. Now, from this point, after ADB is installed, after PDANet and all that is installed, your phone is in USB debugging mode. You're going to shift and right click inside the folder here, and click Open Command Window here. Pull this into frame for you so you can see. Now, in this, you're going to type ADB devices. This will make sure that the phone is actually being read in ADB mode. As you can see here, my device has been found. Next, you're going to type ADB reboot bootloader. And you'll see the phone will turn off here in a minute. There it goes. It is disconnected, and it has now reconnected. So, what that has done is you can see the phone is still black, but we are actually in fast boot mode. So, to make sure that your device is being recognized by your computer, type fast boot devices, and there you can see my device is being recognized in fast boot mode. Next, you want to type in fast boot cwm.img, and what this will do is sideload the Clockwork mod image and boot your phone into a temporary Clockwork mod recovery, as you can see here. And there, my computer letting me know that ADB interface has been installed, even though it's already been installed. Whatever. Now, from Clockwork mod recovery, the first and very first thing that you want to do is, using the volume keys, scroll down to Backup and Restore, and click Backup. This will back up your entire system and data, in its stock factory condition with the kernel included, to your SD card, so that if anything were to happen to go wrong, you can just simply boot into Clockwork mod recovery and restore your backup with the restore button. Now I'm going to click Go Back. I'm going to click Install Zip and choose Zip from SD card. At this point, if you want to install permanently Clockwork mod recovery, you would scroll and find your cwm.zip, and hit the power button to select. Scroll down to install clockworkmod.zip and click the power button to hit yes. And as you can see, it is there, installed Clockwork Mod Recovery. Next thing you're going to want to do is install the superuser binaries. So choose zip from SD card again and scroll to superuser.zip. Click install superuser.zip and power button to select. There, the binaries as well as the application for superuser have been installed. Last thing you want to do is choose zip from SD card and find ockernel.zip. Click power to select, install ockernel.zip, power to select again, and give it a minute. And there we are. We've installed the overclockable kernel as well. Click go back. Now, I suggest that every time you install a zip file, before you reboot your system, that you wipe the cache partition. And scroll up to yes, wipe cache. And this usually takes a minute. It has not bugged out. It just takes a really long time sometimes. And this will more than likely take a very long time. There we are. And then we're going to scroll up to advanced, and the next thing you want to wipe is the dalvik cache. And there we are. Dalvik cache doesn't take that long to do it all. Click go back and click reboot system now. Now the device will reboot into Android, and you will now have the superuser binaries as well as superuser installed, as well as the overclockable kernel. And I'll show you these things here in just a minute. There, Android is upgrading and optimizing the applications. Now, after I show you the new kernel version, and I show you the first and second kernels and their options available for their overclocking or underclocking, I will then run again AnTutu benchmark. I will also run a Quadrant standard again, and the final thing I will show you is how to return your phone back to bone stock if you choose to have to return your device, or in case you just don't want this awesome modification for whatever reason. So we're going to unlock the device here. Give it a second for it to load everything, because it takes a minute. And I'm going to go cancel that again. Come on. There we go. Go to system settings. As you can see, superuser has been installed. I'm going to allow that. I'm going to go to system settings, scroll down to about phone, and there is the new kernel version. There we are. Now, next thing I want to do is show you the overclockable options here in Android Tuner. I suggest using any tuner application that allows you to mess with the CPU speeds. Use an application like Android Tuner or Set CPU or something like that that allows you to actually modify the clock speeds of both cores. Trickster mod is good, but it doesn't actually allow you to individually clock the CPUs. As you can see, I am now actually able to select which one of the kernel governors I would like to choose. I'm going to select performance. To enable the second core, you're going to click where it says free, so that it says online. And I'm also going to put this on performance mode as well. GPU, I'm also going to put on performance. I want this phone to be running at its full potential, so that when I run the AnTutu and the Quadrant scores, I can get the absolute best scores possible with this. Now, remember, since it is trying to download an update, there is some kind of other CPU usage going on, memory usage happening in the background as well. So this may affect my scores here a little bit, but I'm pretty confident that it's still going to be much better than they were earlier. As you can see, there it was my previous score, 13901. We're going to hit test again, and we're going to test this out and see how it goes. Testing CPU float. Now I noticed that this video is taking quite a long while, so I will have down in the description some timestamps for you to click if you would like to skip these tests and just get to the actual important information. It's about to come up on the GPU tests here in just a second. There's the androids and jelly beans jumping around. And there's the bouncing particle effects. And then here comes the hefty triangle 3D test. And the FPS is quite a bit higher, reaching 30 FPS almost. Whereas earlier it was around 20, 23. So a bit of a significant increase. They're actually reaching 33 FPS there for a second. Alright, let's select details, show you my score. 18,345. That is an improvement. Show you the scores for the GPU, 925 and 6060. So there we go. There is the AnTutu benchmark. Going to close the recent apps here for a second and then show you the Quadrant standard score again. You will notice that the CPU test here goes by much faster than it did before. Memory and I/O tests are done. There is the 2D test. There's the Quake style 3D hallway, maintaining about 60 FPS throughout the entire thing. Not bad. Did drop down there to about 50. The 3D planets test. And then the DNA balls test. Send this out and see what we scored. 5333. Not bad. Have actually had better than that. It has scored over 6,000, and it does actually score over 6,000 consistently. Once your phone is rooted and you've installed the kernel and any kind of disable application or uninstaller, you can get rid of all of the stock Virgin Mobile bloatware crap, and your scores will most likely improve through that. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you, and again, I'm sorry that this video has taken quite a while, but I would like to show you now that we have done all of these modifications. Whoop, I apologize, the camera decided to shift on me. If you, for whatever reason, want to return your phone back to complete bone stock condition, here's what you're going to do. You're going to type ADB devices, again, make sure that your device is actually being recognized, and it is. Then you're going to type ADB reboot hyphen bootloader. And the phone will be rebooted into the bootloader. If you did not choose to install the Clockwork mod .zip and permanently flash Clockwork mod recovery to your device, you can actually skip this step and just boot into the regular recovery. From fast boot mode, we're going to make sure that the device is being read. We're going to type in fast boot devices, and there's my device. And we're going to type in fast boot recovery .image, and this will now boot our device into the stock Android recovery. Now, you should have thrown the update.zip from the folder here onto your SD card, and in which case you can then go down here on the stock Android recovery to apply update from external storage. I'm actually not going to do that right now because I would like to restore my device back to its condition that it was before I flashed it back to stock recovery and stock system so that I could record this tutorial for you. I do apologize that this video is going on just about 27 minutes now. I'm going to shut up. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, head on over to androidforums.com/all things root so that you can go and give RB Hero, Max, and Cool Dude Zach, Junkie 2100, myself, Zeruth, and anybody else on there that's done any kind of testing. If I forgot anybody, please, I do apologize. There you go. Again, hope you guys have enjoyed, and take care.